If you destroy other countries, be prepared for the consequences. There are unprecedented numbers of refugees at the borders of the main exporter of democracy. Almost 1.5 million people have arrived in the United States since the beginning of 2023. The streets of border towns are rapidly turning into spontaneous tent cities. The situation is on the verge of a humanitarian crisis. I'm Andrei Sich, this is the screenshot. Let's figure it out. The Mexican border has become a traditional land route for refugees from around the world seeking asylum in the United States. Dispossessed people from Afghanistan, Libya, Iraq, Yemen, abandoned by American troops in the rubble of their homes, have virtually no other options. The most disgusting thing about the situation is the hypocrisy of the White House. The current crisis stems from the actions of the Biden administration. Article 42, which gave the authorities the right to expel refugees on the grounds of the threat of spread of COVID-19, expired on the 11th of May. The cancellation forced the events. The percentage of white people in the United States is below 50. This suggests that demographic restructuring is underway. America is changing from predominantly white. Until the mid-20th century, over 80% of the population was white. Now it's either black race or Latin Americans. The cultural face of the country and the demographic face are also changing. I'm sure that soon the United States of America that we know, that we are used to, will not exist ethnically, culturally, or politically. The situation at the border is close to critical. Along with the increase in refugees, crime is soaring. Cartels take control of the border by setting fares for passage. Republicans are calling on U.S. authorities to launch a military special operation. Shootings have become commonplace. At the same time, Biden laughingly notes that the U.S.-Mexico border is doing better than expected and has no plans to visit it.
Sir, how are things at the border?
Much better than all expected.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
No, not in the near term. No, that would be devastating, nothing else. Refugees are thrown out to the streets. Sure, abandoned without welfare and socialization programs, they survive as best they can. Some are compelled to commit crimes in an attempt to secure basic necessities. With the flood of underprivileged people entering the United States, outspoken radicals are also emerging. It's not uncommon to see homeless people running around towns with axes and machetes, and that's common. Nobody's doing anything, you call the police, and they rarely show up. The massive influx of refugees so assiduously overlooked in Washington is part of the Democratic campaign. Biden's bottom ratings will prevent him from serving another term. All hope is for refugees. Democratic governors have allowed stateless people to participate in election campaigns. A green card or work permit is sufficient. Approximately 1 million residents in New York City alone will be able to vote starting from 2023. Ultimately, Biden's entire election campaign will be a promise not to deport refugees. Andrei Sich on Political Games of Human Fate. It was the screenshot.